Hey everyone, Chrissy here from Where We'll Witness, and I felt like I needed to come on today. I scheduled this, I think it was last night, because I was like, I hadn't been on for quite a while, and anyway, and there's a lot that we need to talk about. There's a lot going on in the world right now, and we need to use our discernment now more than ever. First, I want to say a few things. Basically, first, I want to say, there are so many things going on within the soul tribe that it is mind boggling to me that the division people have infiltrated the soul tribe to cause this division. I really believe that. I mean, and it's so important right now that we use our discernment um, to figure out who we should be aligned with and who not to be aligned with. I feel like we are in a spiritual battle right now, a battle for your soul. That's what this is all about. That's what, hey, Lori, hey, girl, love you. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute because, obviously a lot of you have probably seen Delphine's video. Hi, sweet ginger cakes. Hi, thanks for coming. A lot of you guys probably saw Delphine's video from earlier today. And, the thing is this. I'm going to talk about Yeshua. And I keep saying to people, what would Jesus do? And hi, Sharon. How are you? I'm of the mindset at this point. It's sort of like, what would Jesus do at this point? What would Yeshua Mashiach do when he was on this earth, right? And he was doing his ministry, and he was healing people, and he was, he was of the light, and he was getting people to understand and to differentiate and to discern first of all, how their lives were enslaved, which is what we are. We're an enslaved debt society right now. If anybody doesn't believe that, then I'm sorry. You need to go and do some research. You got to wake up. Hey, beachgoer. Hi. I haven't seen you for a little while. And hey, Eric. How are you doing? All right, before I get started, I'll just say a couple things now. People are kind of before I go into all my spiel, but I do want to mention, first of all, I have to do a shout out to Harley Ray Crystal Shop. I always forget to do that. And if you guys want sage candles, protection crystals, please go over there. And if you use code word RW Chrissy, you get 10% off of your purchase. So please go over there and check them out. I do get my sage and my candles and stuff from them. And of course, I feel like they're really quality, because I got some sage actually from around my area, and it was like, oh my God, it sucked. So, I mean, in comparison to theirs. So anyway, so I want to say that. Shout out to Harley Ray and Kelsey and Harley Ray Papa and all of those guys. It sucks because I don't have my Instagram anymore. I can't connect with anybody. So, that's a whole other thing. But anyway, and I also wanted to mention, I'm sick of talking about my freaking book. I have to I'm sick. Today is the month anniversary of when it was launched, and I'm tired of talking about it. But on the other hand, I just want people to get into the adventure of it. It's so much fun to read. Everybody is saying so far I've been getting 5-star reviews on it. And so if you do have my book and you do read it, please go and put a review up for me, because I'm trying to get to 100 reviews in order to get on the top reviewed page of Amazon, but it's practically impossible at this point. So anyway, but if you are interested in the Kirsten Kelly Chronicles, you can go to the website, which is thekirstenkellychronicles.com, and go over there and find everything about that. And then obviously I have some videos on this channel and the book launch that we did a month ago. And I want to do a shout out to Delphine. She helped kind of co-host, and my Taylor girl, and Julie, and the copy editor that helped me with the book, with Deborah Nicola, and she has her own book, and I haven't read it yet. I haven't even had the chance to read anybody else's stuff, but anyway, you can check all that out, the book launch and everything. It's all listed, and it's also on the website as well, and you can order the book that way. It's got a link and everything. So anyway, so enough of that. So the reason that I wanted to come on today was because we are definitely, thank you, sweet ginger cakes. We are definitely in the middle of a spiritual war. And what people got to understand, this transcends this 3D world that we're in. We're in the world, we're not of the world. We are much bigger beings, and we're down here. We chose to come down here at this time to help humanity get to that next level, to help this new earth emerge. This is a secular event. It happens all the time. There was what I thought was very interesting is I came upon an article. They were talking about the Roman Empire, and they liken America in it, because basically, I mean, we are in, I don't know, I think we're in 78 different countries. I can't remember the stats, but Americans, I mean, we have our military is spread all across the globe. We have bases in numerous countries. And, and so the article, they were talking about, how the fall of the Roman Empire and how, the fall of America is imminent. And this is what I want people to understand. We do not want America to cease to exist. We just want to get this evil out. As I understand it, I mean, the earth is sort of going into a split right now, and the split is, you're going to have, it's sort of like the video, I don't know, I mean, obviously I'm sure you guys have seen that silent running video that had like bump and all that in it, and it's, you go to the left or you go to the right. You're either righteous or you're not. And the people who are a part of this 3D world and agenda to destroy humanity, destroy God's DNA, destroy the way we, basically put us in these little boxes so that we can't do anything unless, we get permission. I mean, that's not the world that we're talking about. Those of us that are awake, that are like waiting for this ascension, and when you say ascension, that doesn't mean that we're going to be all go fly up to the sky. That's an ascension. It's like you're on another higher vibrational and energy level, and we're not going to be of this. We're not going to adhere to this ridiculous new world order or whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish. We're not going to be a part of that. And it's a very, very, I think, first of all, it's a very personal choice, number one, because you have to choose not to be enslaved. Okay, we know we're enslaved at this point, and yet, we're still, kind of status quo here in America. I mean, there are protests all over the globe, and we're still complacent here because we think, we're just gonna ascend and that's it. Well, it's gonna take a lot of work. We have to rebuild. We have to start our own little communities and ways of living. It's sort of like, I feel like we're gonna be almost I mean, I don't want to say underground, but I'm just saying, we are part of a society that is rejecting, what these people want to do. I mean, this whole AI stuff, I mean, it is shocking to me how they saturated, they've been doing this AI stuff, oh, look, you can change your face, you can change your, you can do there's the deep fake videos, right? I did a show with Dustin about the deep fake videos. We were talking about that in 2018. So, so there was that. And we know that they've been using, clones and all that. I mean, and what's hilarious about that is, I used to be a huge, I am a huge X-Files fan. And hey, Vicky, I'm a huge X-Files fan. when I was, when I was at work, I had all my, the screenshot, my whole screen was all X-Files, especially when the first movie came out. Oh my God. Of course, I love David Duchovny, but whatever. Anyway, but, there's a reason that those stories, the first of all, the mythology of it, number one, but then you had the mythology episodes, but you also had these one-offs about cloning, about the human hybrids, about the establishment, about these things, and you really think that Chris Carter came out of that, out of top of his head? No, they have to tell everybody what they're doing as part of their karmic whatever they think in their crazy little heads. Whatever evil they're doing, they have to broadcast it, and that's how, and that was one of the methods they used. And then when they came back, the X-Files came back, and I can't remember if it was 2016, 2017, 2018. Anyway, the two, I think, was what was it? Was it season 10 and 11 or something, or 11 and 12? I can't remember. But anyway, they came back, and everybody in the truther community clearly knows, that they were explaining the whole COVID, the C-19 stuff. And it's kind of, yeah, and soft disclosure, exactly. JLK USA, welcome. So it's so interesting that, in this day and age where, look at inflation is ridiculous. Every time I go out, I get angry. It's like ridiculous. I'm paying $10 more for the same food that I had, 2-3 years ago, and nobody says anything. We just, well, all right, I guess it's the way it is. No, it isn't the way it is. You have to stand up and you have to speak your truth, and you have to get in the game. And getting in the game means, you have to discern and use your discernment on what it is, who's coming in and out of our lives. Okay, what is their, it's not like they have an agenda or whatever. I don't want to say that, but when things happen like what happened to Lori, and I'm going to discuss this briefly because I'm way on the out, I only heard about it. I don't know any of the particulars other than what Delphine said this morning. But what happened to Lori, I did have a friend. This is a funny story, so it's not funny, but years ago, I used to belong to a paranormal investigation group. Okay. And we used to go and do paranormal investigations, sites around, Washington. And one of we had like several mediums that would come in. And so the way it worked was we would have so I was like one of the quote investigators. So you'd have a team. So it would be either an investigator with a medium or an investigator with a medium and a tech person if we needed more tech stuff, while we were out and about doing our thing. And this woman, I was friends with her for a couple of years, and we'd go store, what you hang out a little. Lori, to one of my friends that I had known since like 1998. So it was so crazy. I found out after the fact, but she was trying, because my friend, always went to readers and tarot readers, and was always, hey Ocean Odell, was always talking about, she gets readings, and she's very metaphysical. She very much believes in our higher purpose and vibrational levels, and all of that, the chakras. Like, she's totally on our same page, right? Well, this woman, I guess what happened was she asked for a reading, and she got a reading, and this woman told my friend that she that first she said that she had a demonic attachment. And this freaked my friend out, because she was like, oh my God. But she didn't tell me that that she was having readings with all, and I didn't. She only knew this woman because I knew her, and I had said to her, listen, she's really good. She does really good work, when we go out on our investigations and this and that. So anyway, so I guess she went to the reading. She said she had demonic, but she also then talked about that she had that her family or her line of family was cursed. Okay, so that freaked her out. So she paid her $100 to get whole. She said that, okay, I can do this thing. I can start breaking the ties of this curse and this attachment or whatever. I just need to get some holy candles from Israel. So she gave her $100. A couple weeks goes by, and the check she hadn't cashed the check. So she calls the woman, and she's like, well, I was just wondering if you ever bought the candles from Israel, because I didn't, the check hasn't gone through. And my friend and she goes, this woman, she says, she goes, actually, yeah, I did get them, and they're lit in my garage right now, and I'm like doing whatever she was gonna do. So she says, okay. She thought that was a little weird, but okay. And then, like, I don't know, a day later or whatever, the check was cashed. And then she met her again, and then this woman was bringing up this whole, like, the whole family line was cursed, and it was going to cost her, like, I don't know, $888. There was like something with the 888 that she needed to in $888. So basically, she was scamming her, I believe, and she was freaking out because she doesn't have, she doesn't have money like that. And then she tried to get her to do like a payment plan, like, okay, well, you can give me $80 a month for however much. But the fact of the matter is like she freaked the crap out of my friend, and I'm like, listen, I said, she told me after that second meeting, she's like, finally said something to me, and I was like, what is wrong with people that they gonna, first of all, scam people like that, but also like put the fear of God like that into people? This is what these other two individuals that did to Lori did, but even on a worse scale than that. I mean, she was threatened. Anybody that is threatened in this tribe, I'm sorry, that is not right. It's not right. And we need to really discern who it is that we are putting our faith and our energy into at this time. If something smells wrong, then you need to like use your intuition. That's the kind of battle we're in. And I do agree, I get along with everybody. I'm just not, I'm not the type of person that's like going to, I'm not like, all into, cattiness and all that. That's not even it. This, I know Lori, she said, it was one of the worst things she ever went through. I mean, this one, she deserved that. And then to continue having people be associated and going, she can't even go into the other chat box because these people are there and they're infiltrated. And you can, and I understand, nobody wants to fight. That's not what this is about. But when somebody like Lori, that's not that one of us. It's all about, we're all warriors. We're supposed to rally around our soul tribe, our family. And I'm sorry, but trying to say, oh well, we bygones. It isn't bygones. Listen, my family, my father was like that. It was like, oh wow, Ocean Dell. Snow, holy moly. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is that we have to support each other and rally around and protect each other. And when you have something like that happen, the minute that some people heard it, I mean, it should have been, well, what's going on? Why wasn't there any kind of a protection or like questioning? I mean, is this true? I mean, the fact that she has it recorded is they can't get out of it because it happened. So I just feel like we just can't say bygones. That's how we get into these problems that we have in this country, because it's the extreme left and these crazy woke people, they want people to just give a hug. We have to be tolerant. No, we do not. God is not tolerant. Jesus wasn't tolerant. Yeshua was not tolerant when he was on the earth. What would Jesus do? That's what I keep asking people now. You have to start thinking along those terms. What would Jesus do? Jesus did not allow the crap to go on with the Pharisees. He went into the church, and he started flipping over the table because they were wrong. They were collecting money from people, which was an enslavement, which was and they shouldn't be doing it in the church. And what do we have today? We have people, that claim that they're prophets, claim that they've got a ministry, and people asking for money all the time. Right there, that's a huge flag. You don't ask for fucking money. I'm sorry, people. You know? You have to start really thinking ahead and using your thoughts and using your discernment when situations happen. We cannot just lie down. You can't. The one thing that I think, God and Jesus, they know of me is, if I make my mind up what is good and what is bad and what it is, I don't falter. I'm just not that way. And I don't know. Even the election that happened couple of years, 3 years ago. I'm just gonna say, um, I I was actually, I had the stupid, of course, it's mail-in ballot here, of course, and this is the most captured state in the country, in my opinion. You would not believe what's going on behind the scenes here. It's ridiculous. I mean, I'm just so over it all. I'm over it. These people that are in leadership positions here, they do whatever the fuck they want. They don't even follow the bylaws of the GOP group. They don't even follow that. Forget the Constitution. They don't even follow the bylaws. Simple, like to do a fundraiser. They just do whatever. Oh, I'm just going to just carte blanche, arbitrarily. They just do whatever the hell they want. And it's like, no, we're trying to get law and order back. We're trying to go back to law and order. And it is so. Anyway, so when I was I was getting ready to fill out my ballot. Kid you not, in my head, I hear, it doesn't matter. Your vote doesn't matter. It's not going to be counted anyway. You're in a blue state. It really isn't going to make a difference. I literally was hearing this little voice in my head. And I said, fuck that. And I filled it out for Trump, and I voted for Trump. And at that point, I feel like all of us that voted for Trump, I felt like it was sort of like drawing a line in the sand of good versus evil, because that's what this is. It has nothing to do Democrat, Republican, all that other stuff, the woke crap. It's about good versus evil, and that's the battle that we're in. And it's a battle physically, but also very much on the spiritual level. You have a lot of people within the soul tribe that are, look at Soldier of Light, Jason Bryant. They're in the battle, in the spirit. And I had a dream about a week and a half ago. It was the scariest. So crazy. I had this dream that I was in the dream. All I remember about the dream is I was battling some guy. I was battling a guy, and I slammed him up against the wall. Okay, and then all of a sudden his eyes turned really, really red. And then, sort of the facade started coming off. And to the left of me, I could see it, like, and then my peripheral was tall, like, I don't know, dark entity. And it was so crazy. And so what did I do in the dream? I started, like, of course, reciting, my protection prayer. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ. You have no power, authority, or consent to manipulate, infiltrate. I did like this whole thing, and I'm in the dream, and I'm doing this, and I kid you not, as I started waking up, I sat up in my bed, and I was speaking it out, physically speaking it, not just in my dream, but physically speaking it, which meant that I was under attack of something, and that's never happened to me before. I was like, oh my God. And then, I told Joe Rocco about it, and he said, yeah, basically you were in a fight. And you were, I think they were testing me. I really do. I think I was being tested, because it was like, okay, is she strong enough to come out of that, and it was just it was crazy. I'd never had that happen to me before. It was so insane. Hi, Rodney. You're single? Okay. Nice. Where do you live? No. Are we going to do a dating show now? Is that what I'm doing? That's hilarious. But anyway, back to, Yeshua, and it's what would Jesus do in these times? He's, listen, he was out there 40 days, 40 nights, and Satan's in his ear, and he's like, no. And he was offered everything: money, power, fame, whatever. You can have total rule over this world. And he said, no. And that's what we have to do. We have to really use our discernment seriously. I mean, it is just, he's in Georgia. Oh, wow. I was in Georgia last year. But yeah, it's incredible what's going on in the world. And I did want to bring up a few things, scriptures in the Bible. I'm going to just bring this up briefly because I'm like, let me just to give you guys some idea, like what we should be focused on is like fighting evil and the reasons why. And it's physical, it's in the physical, and it's also in the spiritual. Okay. And okay, so in Ephesians 5, verse 5:11 says, take no part in unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. We're supposed to expose the lies, expose the truth, shine a light on it, and stand in your truth. Okay. James 4:17. So whoever knows the right thing to do and fails to do it, for him it is sin. Timothy 2, 4:2-4, verse 2 through 4. Preach the word. Be ready in season and out of season. Reprove, rebuke, and exhort with complete patience and teaching. For the time is coming when people will not endure sound teaching, but having itching ears, they will accumulate for themselves teachers to suit their own passions, and will turn away from listening to the truth and wander off into myths. That's huge, because that's what's going on in the churches right now. You've got woke preachers that are, they're spewing their crap about, oh, we have to be progressive, we have to be, we have to just accept this crap that they're trying to pull. I mean, I'm sorry, everybody, let's talk about the littles briefly. The littles, I mean, I used to be an investigator. I used to have to do sexual assault cases where children were molested, raped, whatever, and I would have to go and interview these children. Okay. And there was, you have the victim advocate, you have the prosecutor there, you have the defense attorney there, you have, of course, the parents, or one or two of the parents, whatever the situation is. Sometimes the parent is there, sometimes not. But what they're teaching in schools, that is sexual grooming. That's what grooming is. The thing, it's like, oh, this feels good. Oh, they show the pictures, the position, the pictures, the positioning, that it's okay. Feeling good is okay. Listen, I have no problem if what you want to do as an adult. In the teenage years, you know how it is growing up. I mean, come on, you're barely able to figure out who you are as an adult, let alone a teenager. But what I take very, very, I feel it's very evil what they're doing to kids 12 and under. This is what my feeling is about that. It makes me sick that what they want to do is they want to legalize the P word, pedo. They want to legalize that. And then why do they want to legalize that? So that they can continue their disgusting things that they do. And I am going to encourage everybody to go see Sound of Freedom. It comes out July 4th. I am going to go see it. I saw an interview with Jim Caviezel. Let's go, Brandon. I saw an interview with Jim Caviezel, who plays Tim Ballard, who is the real soldier that has a team that rescues these children. And he said it's going to be very difficult for a lot of people, but it is completely based on truth. He actually had to see some of the videos that Tim Ballard has in order to. He said he didn't want to see them, but he, because he was, portraying it, he said it was necessary. And what these kids go through, people can't even fathom it. You cannot just turn a blind eye anymore. We just cannot do that. Things are going on right under our feet, and we are paying for it. People don't get it. Our tax money is not going to anything that's going on in our states or city towns, our states, or federally. It's going to all these criminal organization, the Khazarian. That's where it's going, for all these criminal enterprises that they have created over the last, this has like gone on for more than 100 years. I mean, they've infiltrated every single aspect of our lives, every single institution, the way we are taught, the way everything is infiltrated, and they just all this is all they want. They're trying to push us into this new world order crap, and they're trying to destroy the human DNA, because if you're not human, you have no rights. Okay, think about that. If you're not a human, you have no rights, and they can do whatever they want. They're taking away what parents, like, ability to, be involved in their kids and what they're learning in school. Like, what is this? What is this? The parents are the parents. And some of these parents that are allowing these changes and stuff with the kids that are under 12, they should be turned into CPS, and they should be arrested. I'm sorry. These little kids, they think it's a fad. They don't know, when you're a little kid like that, what they're doing to their bodies. And the fact that the parents aren't standing up it speaks volumes as to what these people have done to our country. We have no values anymore, no morals. It's a free-for-all. We are in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah from the Bible. We really are. It was like a free-for-all. They do whatever. And think about this. Why do you think God started over and Noah had the ark and all that? Because of what was going on. There was no way to do anything except for starting over. You had to start over because it was so corrupt. It was so, blasphemous. Look at what they did in Dodger Stadium the other day. I mean, with this LGBTQ, whatever it was that they did, I mean, they were blasphemous. They were mocking God, mocking Jesus. You don't think that God sees that and is going to respond? I mean, if you don't think that, then you've got major brainwashing. I don't even know what to say. We are in a battle. We're in a battle, and it's so important. We have to carry the armor of God, and you have to. I mean, before I do any of my anything, I say my protection prayers. I say my rebuke prayers. I do it several times throughout the day, especially like if I feel like something isn't right, which has been lately. I've almost been in 3 different accidents in the last month and a half, which is so interesting too. One of them was just so bizarre. I was, in one of those rounds. You know how you have you have to, sometimes they have those circle rounds and you have to go around, and there's like there's an outer lane and then there's an inner lane, right? And I was going around it, and this truck, I mean, thank God, and I had said my prayers before I left, my protection prayer before I left, and out of the corner of I see this big pickup truck, okay, big. I mean, I have a little car, and it literally, like, at the corner, I saw it, and it was cutting me off. It was coming from the inner lane into my outer lane to go to the right, which is illegal. And had I not, grace of God, nobody was behind me. I slammed on my brakes, but I could have been in a massive accident. I mean, it was crazy. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you, Jesus. I mean, it was like, and I've had several other issues, things that have come up. So we're in a fight today. We're in a fight during this time in history. This is the only time in history where there is going to be a new earth. And we have to start just using our discernment on everything. I'm going to read a couple more scriptures. So from Timothy 5:20, as for those who persist in sin, rebuke them in the presence of all, so that the rest may stand in fear. Ezekiel 3:18, if I say to the wicked, you shall surely die, and you give him no warning, nor speak to warn the wicked from his wicked ways, in order to save his life, that wicked person shall die for his inequity, but his blood I will require at your hand. That's interesting to me because, this is what we have to do. We have to speak. You speak your truth and you speak into, what it is that we want. The veil is very thin right now. Whatever we want, we can manifest. That's the other thing, that's so important. And that's why a lot of these people that are on the negative side of things, including, what happened to Lori, those people, it's such a fine line, and you have to. I think if we speak it, it will happen. Hey, Lady D, love you. um, and so it's just so important. We have to look to the only thing that matters really is to put your eyes on God. I mean, the whole truther community. Let me tell you this. The the way that how do you placate patriots? Okay? How do you placate Americans who just want to live their lives and to and they want the Constitution to be upheld. They want freedom. Okay? There is a narrative for the left and the far left, the woke crap. And then there's the narrative for the right, which is all this political crap that, we see with the Republicans and, all the fighting, the back, all that stuff. And then you have the independent journalists. What people don't understand is, they're all funded by our government. It's all funded that way. I mean, even like Newsmax, America First, all these things. And we have to, it's so important to understand that even the truther community, if you notice, people like, and listen, I still listen to a lot of them because it's like, there is some good information. When I feel like I want to go and find out, like if I hear something going on and I'll go like, oh, well, what's happening? Then I'll go. But I'm really not paying attention too much to all this. But like, for instance, if Dino Rodriguez, he had Jim Caviezel on the other day. That was the interview that I was talking about, which was really, really good. So I went and I listened to him. But, all these people that have products they're selling, that's all they care about is that, or they're sponsors. So, well, like when Dino Rodriguez, he gets on the beginning and he talks about, oh, go and, I use this mineral, blah, 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 because he's getting paid to do that. It's money coming in. These people who are, I feel like some of them, it's about the money. It's not about this. It's not about getting the truth out there at all costs. It's not about the spiritual ascension. It's about making money, and you just that's why it's like, not that I'm saying that I don't listen to a lot of these guys. If I see something interesting, like I said, Jim Caviezel was on, so I took a listen. But you have to be very, very careful of who it is that what information we are taking in. You have to do your own research. I think it's so important. And to use your own discernment. It's so important these days. It really is. And if you don't, then you kind of get sucked into this or that, and it goes from there. And so okay, I wanted to say a couple more. It says here in Romans 16:18, for such persons who do not serve our Lord Christ, but their own appetites, and by smooth talk and flattery they deceive the hearts of the naive. Perfect. That is exactly what I was just saying. There's this other thing that I hear that, oh, we need to take back all these demonic numbers and whatever. Well, what do you I mean, like, I'm not saying that, you don't. I just am saying, if people continue to use them, it can be for good or bad. You know what I'm saying? And it's been negatively used. And so I question anybody that's saying that, like, okay, why am I going to even bother doing anything with these numbers? You know what I mean? Oh, my hair is like all screwed up, guys. I need a haircut. I'm getting a haircut on Friday, thank goodness. But anyway, and so, there's that. And then let's see. Yeah, this is interesting. John 1, verses 9 to 11. Everyone who goes on ahead and does not abide by the teachings of Christ does not have God. Whoever abides in the teaching has both the Father and the Son. If anyone comes to you and does not bring his teaching, do not receive him into your house or give him any greeting, for whoever greets him takes part in his wicked works. So important. That's what I'm saying. The people that we are talking to, the people that we are allowing into our lives, you have to just use discernment. There's a reason. People come and go, and what I've learned just in my own life, people come and go in our lives, and some of them, I've been friends with since I was 18 years old, but some of them, fall to the wayside, and those that fall, there's a reason why, and it's and it doesn't serve you or what it is that you're trying to accomplish within your own soul, within yourself. So that's another thing that's so important. And then here, Revelation, those whom I love, I reprove and discipline, so be zealous and repent. Let's see. There was one other one I was going to read and I can't. Yeah, here. John 4:1. Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. For many false prophets have gone out into the world. And that is so true. There's really only two one that I truly believe is prophet. The other one I'm a little leery of, but I take it with a grain of salt. But there's so many out there that are just like, oh, and I'm channeling Jesus, and I'm doing this, and it's like, we don't know. I mean, and some of these prophets are like, and a lot of it is, they want money for their tent revival, they want money for this, for that. Listen, when God gives a command to anybody that's got like a ministry, or they don't the money comes to them. Do you understand? God sends the money to them in some way. I mean, it was the same thing with my book. I mean, I was out on the beach. I'm like, I have no idea what this book. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't have the money for this. How am I gonna do this? And then Lady G, she's like, well, we're just gonna raise money. I said, no, I was all weird about it. I'm like, I don't know about that. But God, if it's something that is righteous, that we're supposed to do, that God has anointed us to do, and a lot of these ministries, it will come. The money comes through whatever offerings or whatever. You don't need to ask for it, is my point. And anybody that's in these chat boxes and they're like asking people to do for do this, do that, I can help you, and I can heal you, and I can do that. I mean, like, that's poaching almost. I mean, it's one thing if like for instance, what happened with Lori. I mean, if she had been actively doing that, and that's one thing, but she wasn't saying anything, and these people came to her, and and lady, lady knew them and put her in touch with them, and I mean, but she didn't solicit that. You have to be very wary of people that are soliciting things these days, and we have to just really, 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 really use discernment. I mean, it's so important these days. It really, really is. And I just think, we have to start everything that like, if I ever have any kind of quandary, I'm like, okay, what would Jesus do? WWJD. What would Jesus do? And that's sort of how I am, kind of moving forward with things, because we have to be so diligent. We have to, and we have the armor of God on. And that's the other thing, it's so important. And when I say you have the armor of God on, it's just protecting yourself, protecting your loved one, protecting, like, I do a whole thing for my whole property. When I go out, and that's the only, I mean, when I go out and I'm driving, I mean, I always do a protection spell, but protection prayer. Because I know there are these people that are, they want to stop what we're supposed to do for God and for Yeshua. That's just the way it is. So I just really felt like I needed to come on and kind of say a few things about what I felt like was going on. And I also kind of wanted to express that, you know, I understand this whole bygones bullshit. Okay, the bygones. My father used to say that. I never was validated in my whenever I get upset about something or there was something going on with either my siblings, my mom, whatever. It was like, oh, bygones. We're just supposed to get over it. Well, no, there should be somebody there that is protecting you. And it's not just bygones, not when people's lives are threatened, not when spells are being done and put upon people to stop their thing. I mean, I don't know exactly. I mean, I kind of believe, I think I know what happened with my Instagram account, but I have done nothing to any of these people that I believe might be involved. I did nothing to these people except for give my time and energy to them, and they're going to do that to me. I mean, and I hardly had any followers. It's not even like it was just being able to cut me off because all authors have Instagram. All authors do. And to do it 2 days prior to my book launch, I mean, that is so, I mean, it was just so, it was purposeful. It was purposeful is what I say. And when I leave my ranch, I go back. Removing negative and removing Ocean Odell, yes. So anyway, but and I'm just like whatever. I mean, it's not meant for me to have that. That's fine. I'm fine with it. But it really, there was no rhyme or reason to it. I shouldn't have had to go through that. I don't know why I can't get this on. I was trying to put this on. There we go. Yeah, something's funky. Somebody's doing something with my thing. There we go. Ocean Odell, removing negative and toxic people, black holes in energy, sucking vampires is an important part of our self-love and care. 1,000%. Totally. And yeah, I mean, we have to like stand in our truth and you don't back down. I mean, you gotta, we have to, say what we need to say. And you know what? It's like, if you don't like what I said, then I'm sorry. You don't have to watch me. you know, you could, and I would also say, do your own research. I mean, the thing, I'm just really hoping that people start just like really looking at like, what is this like if somebody's in your life and it's kind of like negative, first of all, you're like, well, what is this person doing for my life? I mean, do I need this person in my life? I mean, is the why is this person so negative, or why am I frequencies or audio or visual audio, visual, or frequencies through the air affect, influence, or interfere in messages from the divine, my mind, body, and soul. This broadcast, anybody that's involved in the soul tribe, you have no power here, and you are to be banished from whence you came. Any and all individuals that attempt to do any kind of spells, alchemy, witchcraft, sorcery, black magic, or curses against me, anybody in the soul tribe, this broadcast is to be let it fall back on them tenfold. In the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, glory be to God, so be it. Okay. So I did that because it just kept buffering and it was screwing around with me. So anyway, that's one of the things that I say when I'm feeling like I'm getting, somebody's doing something. So anyway, so that's my spiel for today. I don't know if anybody has any kind of I know can't yeah Carrie, Yeah, she said she can't wait for the new internet. I know it's going to be so much better, and it's going to be faster too. Because well, of course, well, I live out in the boondocks. I'm out in There's only like two companies that even do my internet, and I don't even get the fastest speed right now. And what's crazy is there's like two 5G towers within a 5 mile radius of me. It's crazy. I'm like, okay, if it was the 5G towers that was helping the situation, then I should have the highest speed ever, right? But no, it doesn't. And I really think that, these 5G towers, man, they were meant to do bad. I hear that supposedly the White Hats took care of it. So hopefully. Um, but anyway, I don't know if anybody has any questions they want to ask or whatever. I just kind of wanted to come on and say what I really, I've been feeling these things for a very long time, and then in light of what happened, Delphine coming on, I mean, I was already going to come on today either way. That just happened, and I felt like it was very important for me to, say a few things and get people to start just thinking a little differently. That's all. And we are all God's children, and He loves us. And this is the other thing. This is so interesting too. So I spoke to my cousin from she's in Miami Beach, and she was like, oh, you can come down and we can maybe go to get a book signing thing for your book. She was talking about that because she's reading my book. She loves it. She's like, oh my god. Anyway, but she was like, you can come here, you can stay with us, and maybe we can, we'll go, we'll get something going on the East Coast. And I said, oh, that's great. And then she started talking about how, I mean, my cousins, they're very, it's fine to be frugal. I mean, please, I have to look for the cheapest of everything. You know what I mean? I always am very frugal, and that's fine. But they have a lot of money. I mean, he's a partner in a law firm in Miami, and they own a couple of some properties that they do rentals, whatever. And they went through a rough patch about 10 years ago or so. But all they do is just put the money away. And she was saying that we know that we're supposed to save and be frugal, whatever. But she wants to go to Europe and with her husband, with Bobby, with my cousin, and he keeps resisting, and he's like, well, we need to save. And I said to her this: they're very Catholic. I mean, when I say very Catholic, they go several times a week. They do their, she said, whenever she has a bad feeling or says something about, or she has a thought that she's upset about, to her husband or whatever, she'll go and confess. And I mean, to that, I said, what are you going to another person for? What do you need to do that? I said, just talk to God. He's there. You don't need to go through a priest. That's ridiculous. And then I said, but then she's telling me the story about wanting to go to Europe. And I said, listen, I said, we're not, we're in this 3D world. We're not of this world. I said, God doesn't intend for you to scrimp and save and do this for what? You can't leave, you can't take your money when you go. So you might as well have some memories and share a great trip with your husband. It makes no sense to me to just like hoard your money for what? What is the purpose? Then you die and then what? It just goes to the, it makes no sense to me. It's like, yeah, we're like now, of course, those of us that are, I have a few pieces of silver and that, and yeah, you prepare, but you don't stop living. And I said to her, I said, people are supposed to enjoy life. We're not supposed to be on this earth as to be enslaved, to be like, oh, we can't do anything. I mean, I'm so disgusted. The fact that every ounce of my money goes for bills. That's it. Every ounce. And like trying to find, I've got this Seabrook. I'm going to be at Seabrook, get this thing. Anyway, I'm going to be there to try and sell my books, whatever. And, I had to buy more books in order to get the, the inventory, and like I'm like, just every single aspect of our lives, all our money that we get is not for us. It's just so that we can exist. And we're not living. That's not what living is. We're supposed to like enjoy it. God put us on this planet. It's a beautiful planet. We're supposed to enjoy it. We're not supposed to be, weaponizing it, using it to like, spread your evil crap or spelled against people. We're all supposed to, yeah, we are supposed to live in unity, but you have to also use your discernment as to when people are, doing things against a person, you rally around the victim. I mean, it's insane to me that we're not doing that, and it is so important to just use our discernment at this time. Please, just we have to start really deciding who should who we should have in our lives and who not. And it is just and anyway, so going back to my cousin, I mean, yeah, and I mean, I told her the same thing. It's just not worth. Like, you have all this money, but what good is it if you're not enjoying your life? I mean, she's miserable half the time. I'm like, God didn't intend for you to be. Don't go do this. Go to church. Don't whatever. Don't do this. They give 10. They always give their money, to the church and blah 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 and all this. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, do you think that Jesus would? I said to her, what would Jesus do? I'm like, Jesus wouldn't expect that of you. We're all supposed to, you know, just understand that our world is so much bigger than just this 3D life. We have a purpose. Our purpose is so much more than what we know, and we've been dumbed down from this matrix that has been, you know, generations we've been in it. I mean, definitely since the Federal Reserve came on, which was in 1913, and it was the bankers, the cabal bankers, the elite family bankers, the Rothschild, the Rockefellers, J.P. Morgan, all those elite families, they got together and they figured out a way to fleece us even more. We pay all these income taxes, but none of the money comes to us for America. We're paying everybody else. I mean, what the hell are we over in some other country? We're guarding their borders, but not ours. Look at us. We've been infiltrated. We are being invaded at the southern border. Nobody's doing anything about that. What about all the undocumented workers? Give me a fucking break, okay? Don't even get me started on that. And not only that, I found out my niece is a real estate agent, and she was telling me, I was so angry. She told me that an undocumented worker can get a home loan, easier than an American citizen. I mean, think about that for a minute. They're giving loans to undocumented, illegal people that are here on our soil. They get free housing. They get free food. They give them like $1,000 Visa card when they hit the border. When they come over, they sign them up. The way it works, they go and of course they don't know any English or anything, so they have an interpreter there, and they fill out the paperwork for the person, and then they're registering them to vote at the border. I mean, this is what the kind of shit that's going on. We cannot like just stay ignorant to what is happening. The whole entire immigration and all this crap that's been going on for the last good 50 years. I mean, they've been slowly displacing everybody else's country, and then they go in with our military and fleece it, take the kids, do what that's all it's about. That's all it's about is the kids. That's all it's about. Trust me. These elite, they use the children as sort of currency. That's what they do, these elites, you know. And I mean, I remember I was doing research about, this must have been 2019, I think it was, because my friend Dustin and Doug, we were helping to produce his YouTube show, and they were going to go to the border. They went down to McAllen, Texas, and they were there for I think like 4 days or something, and we did like a a mini documentary thing. It was like a 3-part mini thing. It's still on. If you go to Douglas, I think it's Douglas Ducote, you could still probably see it. But these people, they basically what they're doing, and I was doing research, was I was doing research on Ghislaine Maxwell, okay? And I'm like, why does she have a submarine license? I thought that was the weirdest thing. I mean, of all the things, And then I looked at this. There's a map you can actually find online, and it shows all the sort of quote highway, the submarine highway underneath the water. It was frightening. I mean, if you think that our highway, oh my God, it is like way worse underneath the water, and we don't even know what's going on. And you go into international waters, they can do whatever the fuck they want. They don't care. They don't care. I mean, they take these kids on these yachts and they do whatever they want, and then they throw them overboard. I mean, you don't think that happens? Then you got to go start doing research. I mean, I'm telling you, that's what they don't want people. That's why they're trying to stop the Sound of Freedom movie coming out. That's why I think and I think people are ready to hear it, which we need. It needs to be said. These kids are suffering. Do you understand? Can you imagine? I mean, like, I can't even imagine. I mean, I'm grateful. I was innocent till I was 18, okay? And when I say innocent, I mean, the most I did was kiss somebody. And I'm grateful now that I was so innocent. I mean, these kids at the age of 6, my niece has to tell her little girl, because she's asking, well, I don't understand why my Gary, or one of the kids in his school, has nail polish on and is calling himself a girl. That's not right. He's a boy. I mean, to have to like explain that to a little 6-year-old, they shouldn't even be fucking talking about that crap. It shouldn't even be in their purview. Like, what the hell is going on? And why aren't, I want to ask this, why aren't the teachers, I mean, are the teachers that fucking dense and brainwashed that they don't see what they're doing to these children who don't understand what the hell's going on? It is just, I mean, God says protect the children. End of story. And we have not been doing that. We have not. And now it's coming to a head where these people need to be rounded up. I mean, like here in Washington State, they actually did pass a law where the teachers, they don't have to tell the parents when they're talking to their kids, or they don't have to disclose anything, and they're telling the kids not to tell the parent. That is, I mean, you talk about blasphemy and just evil. That's what that is. Who the fuck are these educators that they think they're better than that the parents shouldn't know? And the parents should be telling the kids, either yanking them out of school or telling them. I mean, when we were growing up, it was nobody. Remember, this is your no zone or whatever. Anybody touches you, even if it's a child, a parent, a teacher, anybody touches you, you tell mom and dad. That's what we learned. And now they're actually having kids. What they do in school, they're doing here in schools. They're teaming them up. So a boy and a girl get together, and then they're like practicing these whatever massages and the sexual grooming part of it. That's what they're doing here. And where is everybody? Like, where are the bleeding heart civil? I mean, like, this is such an egregious act to manipulate these little kids and sexualize them. It is just beyond evil. They shouldn't even know anything unless the parent decides they want to say something. Anybody 12 and under, no. There are kids there were these stupid gay pride parades. If you're gay and you transgender, whatever, more power to you if you're an adult. That's your choice. Be who you want to be. I don't have anything against that. What I have against is that parents taking their little kids to these parades and seeing people walking naked on the fucking street. And that's okay? Where is the morals of this country? I mean, we used to have shows like Little House on the Prairie when I grew up. Waltons, family-oriented, that taught what the values and the morals were of the country that we stood for. It is completely gone, what they're doing. It angers me so much that parents are not standing up to this shit. And they're like, well, we have to be, we have to accept. No, you don't. Not when the kid is under 12 years old. That's for like if you're an adult. If you want to be that, that's fine. That's who you are, fine. But you do not manipulate a little kid who doesn't know better, who doesn't know, and should not even be thinking about sexual orientation and all this bullshit. Should never be talking about it. It gets me so angry. And the fact that, my brothers, they took their kids out of public school, and one of them is in a private school. The other one is still on school, but they're one of them, the oldest, she was homeschooled by the time she was 15, whatever. They live in fucking California. Can you imagine what that is like? I mean, it is just outrageous what's going on. And the parents, you have to be on top of it, on top of what is going on in your kids' school. It was so funny. I went to when Louis Herms was here for the Truth Tour, the actual seminar thing that they did, the workshop, and there was a teacher that had retired, but she was getting in trouble for she was teaching elementary school level, like I think it was third grade, second grade, third grade, and she was getting in trouble for having them do the Pledge of Allegiance in school. I mean, really? I mean, they've taken God out of our schools, God out of our sports. They're trying to get rid of our Pledge of Allegiance. They got the Pledge of Allegiance kicked out. They don't even teach about the Constitution anymore. Nobody even knows. Even lawyers that are in law school, they don't fucking teach it. It's all about case law now. It's about case law. That's it. I mean, what happened? And nobody questions anything. And we just continue to just agree to this crap. And the time for that is done. You want a different world. You want to change. You want to ascend. We need to start speaking up. No matter what. It's the most important thing we have is our freedom of speech, our critical thinking. I'm never going to be part of this hive mind bullshit. This whole AI crap is bullshit too. I mean, the whole superhero crap, so the CW, they had actually, which is so interesting, I'll tell you this, the CW for the last 10 years, that's a network, the CW, they've had all the superhero shows, Supergirl, Flash, with witchcraft, the Vampire Diaries, the original, Lois Lane and Clark Kent, they were like, what else? They had, so many, Supergirl, all these, you were upgraded, right? And so you have these powers, or you are doing spells and witchcraft, and so you can manipulate, which is what they do, what the bad people do. There's good and bad. You have to understand that before I say this. I mean, there is good and bad. You can use magic and spells and whatever for good, or you can use it for bad. It's the same thing with the tarot. I mean, my cousins were just appalled that I do that I was doing tarot. I'm like, well, asking, I always say that, and I do a special prayer before I even do them and everything like that. So, Charmed. I loved, listen, I loved Charmed. I was a huge, the original, not the remake, the original Charmed. I was a huge, this is before I even woke up or, any of this stuff. I was a huge Charmed fan. I loved Charmed. And of course I liked, what's his name? Julian, who was one of the boyfriends, the one that ended up being evil, whatever. he was so cute. But anyway, but needless to say, I mean, I guess apparently, my friend was saying, I guess there's a new show, The Flash or something, and she was watching it last. She texted me, and she's like, I said, well, what's going on with the CW? Do they still have all those superpower shows and all that? No, they basically they canceled all their superpower shows, and I thought, well, that's interesting. I wonder what happened. Like, I'm thinking maybe the White Hats did take that over, because they were trying to basically they were trying to instill in the young, and they have, you know, tweens and teens and the 20s and 30s. That's sort of like the age group that watches the CW, and they said that you know, that was the thing, you know, you could be upgraded and whatever. And it's all about, you know, if you get the chip, because the mark of the beast, right? And and not only that, I mean, I believe that the jab was all about, there's some material within it that can be activated and they can turn it on, and I don't know. I mean, there's so many things, but the chip thing, you know, because people are, oh well, you know, they were talking about, even recently there was it was some, I don't know if I think it was like an article or whatever, and they were talking about the hologram, because that's the next thing that they're gonna do, is this hologram bullshit, where, oh yeah, you'll be able to, like, on your arm, you can just do so, oh look, and then you could see the hologram, or like, I mean, obviously there's I've talked about the glasses, right, the virtual reality glasses. They want everybody to just be hooked up into this matrix. I mean, that's what it is. And we have to just start using our discernment, start paying attention to all this stuff. It really, really is. And so anyway, hey Cece. So that's kind of what I had to say. I was going to post. What I want to do is I have my adorable fairy wisdom deck, and I thought might be a good idea to kind of ask universe, ask Yeshua, ask Father God what message they have for the soul tribe moving forward from this point on, given what has been going on in the world and within our tribe. What does Father God, Lord Yeshua, Holy Spirit, can you tell us, universe, what message do you have for the soul tribe moving forward this week? Let's just do this week. Oh, well, this is interesting. So this one just popped out of my deck it's called Thinking of You. Look how pretty that is. These cards are so beautiful. I absolutely love them. So let's see, 55. It says Thinking of You. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Thinking of You. The key word is synchronicity. Synchronicity. Have you ever been thinking of someone just as the phone rings, only to find that they're the one calling you? Life presents many such examples to us. There is no such thing as coincidence. Everything happens for a reason, and synchronicity happens more often when we are strongly grounded within ourselves. When well grounded, we have a strong connection to all else in our universe. These connections help to put us in the right place at the right time. Our intuition is heightened and things fall into place so much easier. Very true. Work on bringing more synchronicity into your life. If life feels frantic, stop, breathe, and center yourself. Feel peaceful inside. Ask for help from the elementals. They know about peace and balance. This allows you to make better choices of your words and actions. The more you practice this balance, the more synchronicity has a chance to work in your life and to put you exactly where you need to be at the perfect divine time. Sense the rhythm of the earth and synchronize your breathing to it. The earth's pulse is your pulse. The earth's breath is your breath. All is one. You move smoothly on your life's journey. Created in the light, grounded in the stone, I ask synchronicity here to be shown. I call on the powers of timing and place. I bring in balance of the divine grace. So be it. Make a telephone out of a string and empty soup cans today. But I think that is just perfect because it was exactly what we're saying, you know? We just have to like keep ourselves grounded, critically think, use your discernment, use your intuition, okay? And put your armor of God on because that is the most important thing. You know, we're under his wing, okay? We are part of him. His light is within us, right? And Yeshua's our brother, and he's here for us. And whenever you feel alone, we just have to like remember that. You know, I mean, you know, I'm very grateful. I mean, I found you guys in my little soul tribe, my soul sisters, and you know, I'm so grateful for that. And you know, so some people they never find, you know, they're sort of just searching and searching and they don't understand like, you know, you and the other thing too is your thoughts and words create the world that you're in. And a good example is my mother, most negative person on the planet. I mean, who goes to California? She goes to California for her 80th birthday with my brothers, and she's miserable because, you know, they asked her to babysit the grandkids, and she was all offended. You know, I'm like, what the hell, man? You just spent 3 days in this beautiful resort on the water, and now she's at my brother's house. I'm like, what are you bitching about? It's like, dude, I don't know what you think life is about, but you know, it's just, you know, she just brings that negative energy, and she sucks the energy from me, and so that's why I like, you know, I have issues with her and my brothers too, and my niece and I are close. You know, we're close, obviously, but you know, it's so important to just discern what it is that you know you're trying to do, and discern the people that are in your life. And I just really love all you guys, and I'm so grateful that I know you. And you know, you can always reach me. You guys know how to reach me, right? It's realworldwitness@outlook.com. And you know, you can or you can go on. I was going to say too, so I created a Kirsten Kelly fan club. You can go on Facebook and you can just pull it up and you can join. That would be great. My last comment didn't show up on the TV. We need to detox the metals. Here, let's see. There you go. We need to detox the metals. There are many ways to do it. Yes. Yeah, we have to I'm trying it so hard. I'm trying to eat better. I'm eating more salads and things like that. It's very, you know, I mean, at this point, you know, there's not that much pleasure in life except for, you know, man, if I want a piece of chocolate, I'm going to eat it. So but thanks, and I will see you guys Thursday. I'm having David Bennett. He's actually been on quite a few shows. He's been on the History Channel and other shows. He had a near-death experience, and he also is very spiritual. So we're going to have him on. He's going to be on Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So that'll be amazing. I can't wait to talk to him. Hopefully that will be good. And if you want my book, just go to the KirstenKellyChronicles.com. And that's it. Hey, Carrie, we're just ending. You just missed my rant. But anyway, thank you, and I love you guys very much. And I will see you guys on Thursday. And I love you. I'm out of here. Have a great night, everyone. I'll see you over in Double J's show today I think it's at 5:15 today Pacific. So see you over there. Love you. Bye. I'm out of here.